The most important things that we have done in terms of statistical methods, and more practically, the state commands that we have learned during the course, sort of to summarize the main point. So this is my do file that I'm going to share on the website. And so we'd like to review the basic data commands for conducting and presenting a meta-analysis, and to review the basic interpretation of the main findings. And so I'm going to specify and focus on a very specific context, which is aggregated data, randomized trials, either binary outcomes or time to event outcomes, and also eventually the stratification, subgroup analysis, and meta regression. Those are the main things. And I can start my video. And so let's start with an example one. And please, you can use the chat. To ask questions. And eventually, I know you're kind of quiet, but I will try to encourage a couple of questions. I will ask you to eventually to write something on the chat. So example number one, and this is a data set that has been put together by Professor Savarese, where the exposure, the treatment of interest is the various inhibitors of sodium glucose cotransporters. The outcome variable is a composite outcome, is death from cardiovascular causes, non-fatal myocardial infarction, non-fatal stroke in patients with type 2 diabetes. So if you remember, we have a small data set with just a few trials. And so typically, the meta-analysis is putting together all this information that coming from the studies in an Excel file. So the first thing that you have to do if you want to use data to conduct your analysis, meta-analysis, is to import this Excel file directly into Stata. And so the command is import Excel using this database in Excel format. And we have on the first row, we have the heading of each column, so it's the variable name. So I'm going to import this into Stata, and then you can see here the description of the variables is just 4 observations. Actually, this is 4 lines of data, 4 rows, and 12 variables. So you can see there's a trial, there's an indication of the treatment and the control, the person time, how many cases in the treatment, the control group, what is the event rate in the 2 arms of the trial, and also as a measure of association, we have as a measure of the treatment effect, we have the hazard ratio. So in all those trials, they summarize the effect of the treatment with a hazard ratio with classical 95% confidence interval. So you can see here that we have this tiny data set. It's just 4 lines of data, but actually, we have 4 studies. So these 4 lines of data, they count for much more than just 4 individuals. And so you can see here that some information is missing, and missing in Stata or any statistical software is represented with some special symbol. For example, a dot means missing data. We don't have the number of cases and in the treatment group and the number of cases in the control group. But still, we have the rates here in the 2 arms of the trial, and so we can compute and estimate the hazard ratio and provide a confidence interval for that measure. So this is the structure of the data, and in this case, everything has been already prepared. Otherwise, we can enter the data line by line directly into the do file.